Good afternoon, VV Nation. Happy Friday, everybody. I was looking at the market just a moment ago. I did not get a chance to watch the conference from Jerome Powell, but I did see the sentiment from the market. Looked pretty optimistic to me. All right, everybody, make your way into the room. The alert will be hitting here in just a moment. I see the viewership rising as we speak right now. So give everyone just a moment. If you can hear me, if you can see me, just put a VV in the comment section appropriately. Just let us know. We got Clay in the background today. He's helping out with today's live stream. We're going to jump right into the mobile app analysis here in just a moment. Let everyone make their way into the room. Give it just a second here. Clay, is anyone even in the room? Because I don't see any comments coming through.
Yeah.
Can people hear me or see me? Refresh. It has not started, it looks like.
No, it's definitely started. Hold on.
Yeah. Then my chat is not updating on my side then.
Pick this chat one up. That's because I started the wrong.
Oh, this is for September 5th.
Yep, I'm gonna have to reset that.
All right.
I'll fix that later. Just go ahead. I'm gonna reset that alert.
All right. Well, here we are. We've got the now I got the chat. I see you guys could hear me and see me. All right, let's get started to the mobile app today. We see we got a mixed bag of when it comes to our market timing signals. Our confirmed call signal is down. The DEW is up. The green light buyer is neutral, and even the primary wave is also down. But we're seeing a lot of sentiment to the upside of the market. Just looking at the major indices here, all but actually the VectorVest composite along with the Dow Jones up over 2%. We got 1% moves for the NASDAQ composite and the SPX. Now I know we're seeing a lot of bullish momentum and hype in the market right now. Tonight's special presentation that'll be out later this evening. It will be on waiting on your next market move. Great presentation, just utilizing some of our market timing signals to really get a sense of direction, right? It's been pretty volatile. We haven't seen much follow through in any major move in the market. So if we see some follow through Monday or just, next week in general, tonight's presentation will essentially just, point you in the right direction for what to look for in the VectorVest 7 software to stay on the right side of the market. All right, let's scroll down here. If we take a look at the color guard, we can see the optimism there. 3 green lights across the board. If you take a look at the trend column, the confirmed call situation is flashing up currently. It has not been confirmed. We'd have to have these data points in by the close of today. But with the big move in the market, we'd really have to pull back to lose that confirmed call. So ideally, there is a good chance that we're going to finish with that. It's not set in stone by any means, but there's definitely, if I was a bet man, probably would bet that we're going to end with a confirmed up call. If we take a look at the advances, also showing some of that momentum to the upside here. Look at 79% in advances. The declines, only 10%. Even with the unchanged, that's only 20% of the database either not moving or moving slightly to the downside. As far as the advances, though, 80%, right? So you can see the bulls just taking charge today. So let's take a look at some stock pick ideas. All right, first thing we're going to look at some high momentum stocks here since we're seeing a lot of momentum in the market today. Some really great names here. PPIH, that's Perma Pipe International. Overall VST 1.62. So this is the top rated stock for momentum Trades within the VectorVest 7 system. On top of that, other great names here: AUPH. We've got Bancorp, PAL, DXPE, Helka Mining. So a lot of good stocks here. A lot of strong VSTs. So let's take a look at some of these positions here and just see, there's some good, opportunities here. Just looking at this position, I mean, look at the breakout today. Some consolidation to the side. Value coming at 38.87 right now, even after the big move up, which is 10% right now, just over 10%. The stock's only trading just above $30. So again, our value, not a price target, just letting you know that you're not paying a premium for the stock. You're actually getting a good deal. As we scroll through these positions here, we've got AUPH, again, another stock, big bullish candlestick today, open body, undervalued position. We value the stock at $19.49. So a lot of value in this position here, only trading at $12.33. We'll take a look at some of the ratings here. Very strong RV relative value rating. Safety with this position as well. Positive earnings per share. Sales growth rate, 22%. Let's see where the earnings growth rate is. 45%. So another great stock to have on your radar. I mean, the VectorVest 7 software bringing some great momentum candidates. Now here's TBK, the Bancorp. You see, just finished filling that gap, actually breaking through the gap fill right now. Even with the momentum to the upside, we value the stock at $93.79. RVRS, RT, great ratings across the board there. Even the comfort index coming in at 1.05. I like this position. Again, the value here, I love it. Earnings yield, 8%. Earnings growth rate, 19%. Sales growth rate, 35%. Nicely outpacing the earnings side. So another great position here. Actually, does this one pay a dividend? It does not pay a dividend. Let's see, look at PAL. Again, the same scenario. Big body candlestick to the upside. Finding a nice level of support around that 20-day moving average. Undervalued. We value at $394, close to $400. The stock's still trading below $300. So another great position where you're getting some value here. Fundamentally strong. The only thing here, the CI indicator is relatively low. So the stock's ability to hit a new high or make a new high, not very good. You can see that on the chart here represented. The stock failing to hit new high recently. The last high was hit last year. So no surprise, the CI rating just not that favorable. But look down below, rising earnings per share. I like this stock definitely from a fundamental and forecasted earnings perspective. If we look at DXPE, another great stock here. Let's see. Oh, I just got the alert. Go figure. Here we've got DXPE. Again, price action rising. Big body candlestick today. And that 20-day moving average doing a great job to find a level of support. Good entry point here. Favorite chart pattern in play right now with value on the rise, price action on the rise, undervalued. And even after the forecasted earnings per share faltered a little bit, we see it ticking up in the recent weeks, giving me a little bit more optimism in that forecasted data. Now here's DXPE. Again, full body candlestick to the upside, undervalued, rising earnings. Great stock to be in here. All of these stocks showing that pattern here. Value on the rise, price action on earnings on the rise, strong buy ratings. This is HL, another good stock to have on your radar. We got Medine Company here, which is about to hit a level of resistance coming in the near future. So let's take out that level of resistance before we get too excited. Again, I'd like to see some follow through Monday before just jumping in on positions. But also, I didn't hear what Jerome Powell had to say. If you did get a chance to watch Jerome Powell's commentary, put what you thought in the comments section. I was recording 2 videos for this evening, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. Kind of sad about that. But obviously, I mean, it seems like he was dovish. Could we get some, did anyone here in the comment section watch it? Did we get a sense of, dovish? He implied a September rate cut. Ah, okay, Michael, there it is. So it looks like we might be getting that September rate cut. So again, growth stocks. I did some videos on that. Was it last week on growth stocks? I think one of them was defense. The other one was just, growth stocks in general. Definitely have those on your radar as, the market's going to get excited for a potential, interest rate cut. Katos, I believe, was one of those defense growth stocks I was talking about. Actually, I'm almost positive it was because the earnings growth rate there is like 50-something%, if I remember correctly. He also mentioned policy changes. What do you mean by that, Stacy? What kind of policy changes? He said the Fed may have to adjust its policy stance. Okay, yeah, that's sounded like a politician. Troy, you know he's going to sound like a politician, right? Did we get any new verbiage, any new cool verbiage that... like transitory, those kind of words that the news is going to try to exploit, obviously. But looks like the phrase adjust its policy stance. Robert put that in the comment section here. That could get the market pretty enthusiastic. I think he implied a rate cut, didn't say when. Now, obviously I didn't watch it, so I can't speak on behalf of him. But I say as long as the CPI data comes in lower than expected or maybe, either flat or a little bit closer to that 2% target, there's definitely some good justification there for a rate cut, right? However, Powell said Trump was right about everything. John, did he really say that, or are you just blowing smoke right now? You blowing some smoke, John? Did he even say that about, was it the Fed restoration building? Those interviews are quite entertaining. But that being said, if Powell came out and implied an interest rate cut, and as long as we get a CPI report that, or PPI report that, PCE report that doesn't, tick up higher next month, yeah, I think there's a real chance for a potential interest rate cut. That's the reason why I put those growth stock videos on your radar last week. But, just be careful because as we all know, the market could change relatively soon. But if you're a swing trader, that DEW signal is currently up right now. So play it accordingly. But I do like the optimism I'm seeing in the comment section. JB, I heard those words. Even Bill heard it. Stop it, John. Oh, stop it. But we'll see what happens. But again, me personally, I think as long as the inflation report next month is rather tame, I don't think there should be much pushback when it comes to interest rate cut. But hey, we'll see what happens. Hi, Ryan. How's my friend Glenn now? Miss him a lot. Give him my regards to him when you see him. I will most certainly do that, Lala. I'll most certainly let him know. But as far as I know, I think he did make his way back home from the rehabilitation center. I was just waiting on the details, but as soon as I get some details or an update, I'll let everybody know. The coin flip must have come up heads. The coin. Is that what interest rates are now? Just a coin flip, right? All right. But yeah, again, all of these stocks showing a lot of momentum to the upside, but not only are they showing momentum from a technical standpoint, but a lot of the valuations here are also seeing momentum to the upside. Like this one here, pharmaceutical company. Undervalued pharmaceutical company, rising earnings per share, strong buy rating, great stocks to have on your radar. There's another one, Gilead. Look at that. Value on the rise, price action on the rise. Looks like we're retesting that level of support as of today. Right now, looks like we tried to break out of that yesterday. Got a bottom wick retesting it as of today. I'd like to at least take out today's high, get some confirmation to the upside. But with rising earnings per share, rising value, not only from a trade perspective, but from an investment perspective, doesn't look like a bad candidate either. Here's Cato's Defense. Again, nice lower left, upper right. Still holding that buy rating, no hold in sight. The stock's just overvalued. That's only my one caveat here. We've got rising earnings per share, but you see this position here as a growth stock, big body candlestick. Looks like it's the 20-day EMA is trying to push back above the 8-day EMA. The 3's trying to push back above the 8, but everything is still above that 20-day EMA. Nice retest there 2 days ago. I like both of these positions. Cannot lie. Here's Moeller Industries. Again, another position where I'm seeing value on the rise, price action on the rise, earnings per share on the rise. Who likes some fish? This is a lot of good fish here. Let's scroll down some other stocks in the list here. Oh, we got Google here. Interesting. You see Google also undervalued, 273. Currently trading at 204. Looks like it's trying to, regain or approach that prior high here. Almost looks like it could be somewhat of a cup and handle formation. Looks like we're in the handle of that formation right now. So just looks for some confirmation to the upside. But Google, that's going to be, I've been saying it since the beginning of the year, that and NVIDIA and Meta, those are my Mag 7 picks for this year. I like fish when the sell-off happens. Well, hopefully my videos over the last, 2 weeks, were able to, give you some good fish. All right, but let's see here. Growth rate, 18% here for Google. Sales growth rate coming in at 14%. Not bad for a mega cap company. All right, let's see what other fish we can find in the software today. See, that was high momentum. Let's look at some safe stocks here. These are the safest stocks in the database, right? So if you're looking for more long-term positions, or you just don't want a lot of volatility or a lot of risk in your portfolio, these might be some stocks you'd want to consider here. Again, price action on the rise. I don't like the retest of that 20-day moving average from the bottom that we're seeing today. So if you see some rejection there, just be careful. Otherwise, I want to see price action back above that 20-day moving average just for some confirmation for the bulls. Now, as far as the proprietary indicators, fundamental analysis, very strong. RS coming in at 1.47. RV 1.55. Even the technicals coming in strong, 1.45. So the bulls are in charge right now. We got value here at $7.95. The stock undervalued by almost $200. Let's see here. Dividend growth 17%, dividend yield 0.16. So it does pay a little bit of a dividend here. Here we've got AEM. This is Eagle Mines. I've done quite a few videos on this. I'm pretty sure this was actually, Alfreda. Yeah, nobody really watched the video last night on crypto AI data centers, but I have a feeling all those stocks are going crazy right now to the upside. The video didn't even get 800 views, so I'll be honest, I don't think I'll be doing a crypto AI data center video again, which is unfortunate because I have a feeling those stocks are probably, being growth stocks. Crypto is typically going to thrive in an interest rate cut scenario. So again, if you haven't watched out the video on the whole point of it was Bitcoin miners and how they're being utilized now as AI data center plays. We're seeing this right here in North Carolina. It's where I got the idea from. All right, we've got Bitcoin miners. They've already got existing permits, existing infrastructure, existing contracts with, the utility companies for power, right? So the AI data centers, it's taken them a lot longer than they expected, right? So to expedite this process, well, they're teaming up. Pretty much they're taking all this AI money, which is a lot more than the crypto money, and they're saying, "Hey, crypto players, we got a whole lot of money over here we can help you out with, as long as you help us out with these AI data centers." And these little crypto miners are saying, "Sure, why not?" And after doing the research, and if you watch the video put out last night, you'll see that's probably going to benefit them very well. So if you're mining Bitcoin, hey, if Bitcoin does go to the moon, 500,000 million bucks, hey, those miners are going to do very well over the next couple years. And if that doesn't happen, well, guess what? Their backup plan is already in place. We're just going to help the AI data centers, and we'll make a ton of money that way, right? The hyperscalers are throwing billions and billions of dollars. So if I was a crypto miner, I'd take that money too and run. So again, just check it out if you want to. I ran up 6% today. Awesome. I'm glad I help you guys make some money on a Friday. Let's be honest here. It's always good to finish the week in the positive, right? I put 30 coin at Bitcoin at 112 today. I'm up nicely. I will sell it at 120 and above. It's in the channel. Okay, so you're thinking about a short-term swing play there, maybe a little pivot play there, I get that. And honestly, Bitcoin, Ethereum, I see them as long as there's a potential for interest rate cut. I do see momentum to the upside for that. But just in case it doesn't work out, if you don't want to be a long-term holder of Bitcoin, does it sound like you do, just, stay disciplined. If it doesn't work out, hey, move on to the next trade, right? Otherwise, you're going to be a bag holder. You're going to be up here, hodling all of your Bitcoin. You're in 12. So just be careful. Me personally, I see more momentum with Ethereum right now than Bitcoin. But hey, either one, as long as it's making money, right? All right. We got Fix here. Fix Comfort Systems, another stock. Is actually a stock that's in tonight's video. My indicators have disappeared here, but we got this. Why in the world is going on here? All right, there's the indicators. We got VST, overall value, safety, and timing, 1.56. Again, this is one of the stocks out of 5 that I talk about tonight. I mean, look at the fundamentals. RS 1.45, RV 1.52. Yeah, this isn't going to be as, probably as exciting as, crypto or quantum, stuff like that. It's just a good quality stock. It is fully valued right now, so you're not getting much value there. And, we're seeing that momentum to the upside right now. It's breaking back above that 20-day moving average, so I thought it'd be a good stock to have on your radar. If we take a look at some of these other positions here is Stride, LRN. Again, that momentum continues to the upside. Even though it's down a little bit today, we can see the trend clearly over the last few trading sessions here. Even after the big gap up and the momentum that's followed, look, still undervalued. We value it at 245. So a lot of, a lot of reasons to buy, at least from a fundamental standpoint. Yeah, it's moving up right now. It's probably a little overheated on the technicals. So if you want to, give it a breather, hey, I got no problem with that. Let's see here. Nintendo, little gappy, but overall, I mean, it's lower left, upper right. Big body candlestick today. Look at the bounce off the 20-day moving average. You can see that bounce there. Still below the 3 and 8 full body, so I'd want to see a little bit more confirmation to the upside. But hey, not a bad stock, just a little gappy for my liking. Here's Goldfields. All right, everybody. Who took my advice instead of getting into Contra has gotten a gold this week, right? When the market was looking a little iffy. The Contra charts did not make sense to me. And I don't know, I just had a sense that it was not going to work out. And I told everyone, I was like, hey, you know me, I keep it simple. I look at Contra charts. I look at gold charts. Gold looked a lot better. And if we look here, Goldfields up 2% today. You can see we're seeing a little bit of momentum there. That actually looks like a nice pivot off the 20-day moving average. So hopefully, that video also, puts you on the right side of the market. I just wasn't all gung-ho on, talking about Contra ETFs and all that stuff. But I'm glad I didn't, right? Because I probably would have heard it in the comments section. Ryan, I bought a Contra and it blew away today. So I'm glad that worked out. I don't get it right every time, and I'm not gonna say I'm some stock market guru. Nope, I just use what I've learned in my life, combine that with all the powerful information in VectorVest software, and the good folks here that I get to talk to, Steve Chappell and the rest of them, and I just make sense of it all. But yeah, gold up today too. Yeah, I was surprised that gold's up today too. I figured gold. Well, actually, I'm not surprised by that because the interest rate cut would potentially. Yeah, that's actually good for gold because gold typically goes up at interest rate cuts and down in interest rate hikes. But just the last hike cycle, we didn't see that correlation. That's why I put a ton of gold videos on your radar like a year or two ago. If you think I'm full of it, you'll see. I showed a chart of the correlation of the dollar strength and the dollar index and gold, and both were just rising. So ever since I came across that correlation that's not quite correlating very well, that's when I started getting really excited about gold. And Nancy, silver too. I put gold and silver, at the same. It's in the same industry chart too. So when I break down and do industry analysis, they're together. So yeah, I see gold, silver as well. I tried to bid low on SSRM yesterday, but did not hit. Hey, if the trade didn't hit, Troy, don't try to chase the trade, right? If it didn't hit, just move on to the next one. But otherwise, I'm glad I went that direction of gold. You can see the enthusiasm today picking up. I mean, here's another one. Bottom wick, full body candlestick. Here's Meta Platforms. Everything is up today, but just be careful because this one is retesting the 20-day from the bottom on Meta. So Meta, I'm not sold on today, right? I don't want to see Meta get above that 20-day EMA. And again, just be careful because tonight's presentation is all about waiting for the next market move, right? Kind of like my Contra video earlier this week. I wasn't quite convinced on, betting bearish, at least for the market and stuff. Feel like, a good time to hedge a little bit with precious metals, but not necessarily to do that. So if you did already buy stocks today, hey, just make sure you stay disciplined. Otherwise, watch tonight's video, and come Monday, you'll know exactly what type of confirmation or follow through you're looking for. I still don't think Powell will pull the trigger on a rate cut in September. Glenn, you know what? Something is telling me he might not pull the trigger. And if I had to guess, I think CPI or PCE, whatever, the inflation data, next month will be a little bit higher and just enough to where it takes the possibility of that rate cut off the table. That's just me personally, but we shall see, right? So I don't like to predict. I like to just kind of go with the market, look for the trend of the market, stay on that trend of the market. This morning was a roller coaster ride. Did you look more into RX? Took a big jump today. I did look at it. I did look at it that far, but I did look at it today because I recorded the 6 p.m. video and did the special presentation and then jumped right into this live stream. But no, I've got it written down right here still. I looked at it yesterday. So Troy, thank you for that. I did like the stock though, and the big jump today. We'll take a look at it. I'll do that as an honorable mention for the stock picks. Nvidia, again, Nvidia also showing this. Look at that. That's interesting there. Nvidia is showing me that same thing, retesting it from the 20-day moving average from the bottom. That's a little sketchy there. I'd be careful. I don't know if the Mag 7, or at least these two out of the Mag 7, have quite sold me on a bullish run yet, right? It could, I saw UAMY. It definitely jumped up a little bit today. I'm still holding my short on NEG. Again, I hold the short out at 117. I think last time I looked at it was like 102. I'm still holding that short, and I'm going to hold it. I don't know. I have to take a look at the chart today, but I have a feeling I'm going to be holding it probably till next week, if I had to guess. I want to see it get back into the 70s. I want to see it back into the 70s here. Maria up 64% in UAMY. Put some applauses in the room for Maria here. I like them. I always like it when I give you guys stocks and you're making money. Now, it makes my day. Want to make your day. All right, Ryan, are you doing NVIDIA earnings video? Ooh. That's next week? I have to look at the calendar. I got to look at the schedule. There is a strong possibility. We haven't even talked about that yet, but there's a strong possibility of that. So let's, I will let you guys, it's next Wednesday. Well, we got to figure that out soon. I'll let you guys know soonest thing, Monday. All right. We'll see if that's in the schedule, but I have a feeling we'll probably do that, that video. I have a feeling we will. Don't, quote me on it. Yeah, I got to talk to Joey and stuff, make sure, and I got kids too. I just got to make sure everything works with the schedule. But as far as I know, I have a feeling we probably will be doing that. Neg, I made money from 95 bought and sold at 123. Yes, Lala, I love it when you guys are making money. It says not selling Palantir. Hey, that is completely up to you. Like I said before, as long as it's in that ascending channel, and I'd imagine with today's optimism, I haven't looked at Palantir, but I imagine it's still in that ascending channel. So I wouldn't, be in a rush to say, if you didn't sell it back when it broke above the channel on that high momentum, I wouldn't be in a rush because it just did a nice pivot off the bottom of that channel when it broke back into it. Retailers can no longer absorb tariffs and will start passing the cost of consumers, and CPI will continue to rise. No rate cuts. RG, I'm not going to rule that out of a possibility at all. At all. And that's the only reason why I see we wouldn't get a rate cut. Is just simply because, high inflation, the objectives of everything, right? And did we lose internet? Is it spotty? No, we're still here. All right, perfect. I just could hear Mark over saying we had an internet issue, so I was make sure we still got internet. Perfect. All right, but yeah, NVIDIA, Meta, that's giving me a red flag that both of them are now retesting, and they're stopping right at that 20-day moving average. I see the bottom or the top wick right at there. So just be careful for the mags. Not saying it's over yet or anything like that, but just I'm seeing a little concern. I bought a load of UAMY at $2. Yeah, Dennis, there we go. Between NVIDIA and Palantir, I'm holding 1,200 shares doing CC off-eat time. Let's see here. What time is it? 12:30. Look at these other good stocks here. We got Sterling Infrastructure. That's getting back above the 20-day. Broadcom. So Broadcom as well. I almost put Broadcom in the mag category. I could always get rid of Tesla, put Broadcom in there. It's $1 trillion valuation. Covered calls. I should have known that. SoFi new high. SGHC closed to new high. COM closed to new high. PRM new high. Lots of new highs. LRN, Stride, and more. Stocks that held up are now breaking out. Good quality stocks are breaking out. Like it. But Broadcom, again, showing me that same concern that I see with both Meta and NVIDIA, just retesting them. So I'd like to see these Mag 7 companies actually break above those 20-day EMAs. Because if the Mag 7 companies start lagging and start retesting that 20-day from the bottom end going forward, that's a good sign. It's going to pull the market back with them, right? But we're not seeing that quite to fruition yet. I'm just seeing early warning signs of that. So just be careful. Earnings per share still on the rise. Stock's overvalued. I like NVIDIA better just because you're getting better value on it, and it's a better player. Sony, buy recommendation. Nice strong buy rating. Look at that gap up today. A little full body candlestick showing some follow through on that gap. Rising earnings per share. Another good stock. Here is WRB Berkeley. Stock is pretty much in its own way right now. I'm not going to say again that one. The value, I do like the value here. We buy the company closer to $100, rising earnings. Yeah, I just want to see it, get out of the rest of these resistance. Got a lot of resistance ahead of them. Here's WTS, Water Technologies. Nice lower left, upper right, full body candlestick, eclipsing the prior swing high here, coming in at 280. A little overvalued. We value it just shy of 240. Earnings per share, nice tick up recently, back earlier this month. Here's Alamos Gold. Look at the gold stocks. 2, 3 big body candlesticks in a row. Actually just took out the prior swing high here. We had looks like a triple top, triple touches right on that level of resistance here. But look at value ticking up, earnings ticking up. Telling you these gold stocks are hot. I know they may not be as lucrative as some of the tech names, but I think today's volatile market, not a bad play at all. Andrew, top AI suggestions. Right now, I like the miners. There's some other good ones, but I really do like the miners. I like CoreWeave. Here's Annette. Annette, right at that 20-day EMA, but look at the wick. A little upper wick. Let's get a little bit more body on that before I get too excited. Was close to our valuation, but just not there. Earnings per share, nice jump up. BMNR, that is on my miner list. If you did not watch the video last night, check it out. It's the crossroads of crypto miners and AI data centers. It just opens up your eyes. It just shows you how easy it is to transform these Bitcoin, Ethereum miners, whatever it may be, into AI data centers. But they've got the infrastructure, the powering permits, the GPUs, all the good stuff, the wiring. Tom Lee is the GOAT. I do like Tom Lee because me and Tom Lee agree on a lot of things, and Ethereum being one of them. I trust Ethereum more than I trust the dollar. I trust Bitcoin more than I trust the dollar. And if that offends you, I apologize. That's my opinion. Here's Boston Scientific coming at 106, up 1% here. Look at that value on the rise, coming around $80. EPS on the rise, 297. Again, the stock's just in its own way. Good stock, overvalued, but just in its own way. Google, we did talk about Google before. That's one of my Mag 7 picks of the year. It was Meta, Google, NVIDIA. It was a 3. Google here, it's approaching those highs. You see there, it's approaching. That looks kind of cup and handle-ish to me. You guys see cup and handle there? Well, maybe not so much. The handle's kind of forming, that little recent dip. But I see a little bit of a cup there. Not the second wall on the cup, a little bit extended, a little bit longer than I would like. But still, I look like looks like a good little cup and handle. So keep Google on your radar. That thing might just break out. I like it. Trust ETH more than most politicians, that's for sure. Michael, I'm in the same boat, bud. Trust me, I've been on this planet for 37 years, and I trust a computer algorithm more than I trust human nature. by all means. Ryan, can you talk about EME and Fix? I'm almost positive both of those stocks are in tonight's presentation. We did just talk about Fix, Amir. Fix comfort systems still look good. As far as EME, I don't think there's any real concerns there. We'll take a look at it, though. Actually, it's 12:35. Let's get to some stock picks here. Let's do a watch list. My watch list. Let's add a new one. One day I'm going to have to delete all of these random watch lists I got in here. Alrighty. Let's, you know what? Since it's a good day and the market's rallying, the bulls are out, I'm feeling optimistic. It's Friday. Let's just do 20 even stocks. We're not even going to go off the likes today. Let's just do 20 even stocks. End the week on a good note. Put them in right now. All right. Stocks are coming in. Here we are. Ain't that? Oh, wait. Nope. Oh, wait. I got to scroll back up. List here. There we go. LQDT. NBN. LPG. I bet TSM's channeling to the side if I had to guess. Ever since it broke out of its ascending channel, it's been kind of channeling to the side. I'm not too surprised by that, to be honest with you. URI. All right, scroll back down here. Hood. Let's see here. ALAV. EME, CMCL, TEM, Reddit, hey, Clay, while you have a second, will you see what the views was on the gold video earlier this week? I just have a curious question. Road
944.
944. All right, I'll make my point here in just a moment. Create watch list. Boop. Nope. It was O, not literally O, but that O. 0822. All right, now the reason why I asked Clay to look at the views from the gold video, oh, let me scroll back down and get caught up with the comment section, is because I don't like to sell out, and I like to give you what you want. I know the SEO and all the little data analytics pointed to a crappy video, but the video came out to be right. So the point is, if you see a video that not a lot of people watched, because this happens quite a bit, because it may not be as entertaining or as, sexy on the internet, whatever it may be, those are typically the videos that do the best. So if you ever see a video under 1,000 views, I'm not saying it's, going to work out, but there's usually a good chance that video works out. So just be careful, okay? I jumped into Wriggle, bad timing, spiked down, hit my stops, then popped back up. Orla, all right, let's see here. We got 20 stocks. Let's get to it. Caledonia Mining at the top of the list. We got Sterling, Celestica, Regal. I watch all your videos, Ryan. Well, thank you, Maria. I appreciate that. I didn't see the gold video, but definitely will watch it. Thank you. And I know everyone's busy and stuff. I'm just talking about views in general. For whatever reason, like the rare earth videos, they didn't do that well. We all see UAMY, right? Since I first started talking about it, it was like 70, 80 cents, and now it's getting close to $5 in just 7 months. Again, if you see a video with low views, probably because I went against all the YouTube SEO stuff just to give you good stocks, just because that's what I care about. So just be careful. Gold's been good to me lately for sure. Still in Regal, was a little nervous. All right, we'll take a look at it. I know that's in the list as well. Look at this. Gold, I'm not going to give up on gold right now. We're seeing the momentum continue, and just the news of the potential for an interest rate cut, gets gold excited, gets the tech excited, gets the market excited. So I thought that with the potential pullback in the market and with tariff situation, just gold was a no-brainer, right? It worked in the first half of the year, similar situation to this year or this part of the year, right? So just just keep your eye on gold. I'm not saying it's gonna make you a millionaire or anything, but if you want to do well, having a little bit of gold in your portfolio, not a bad idea. But again, the stock, look at the value. Not only just gold itself is hot, but the stocks look good. Most of these stocks are undervalued, have strong fundamentals, great forecasted data, and you're getting the safety of a gold stock. So again, just putting it out there. Ryan without Glenn, there is a lots of workload for you. Are doing a fantastic job. Thank you. I appreciate that. If you ever see my editing or the video, just not, the information might be good, but if the quality of the video may not be, up to par, it's just because, again, with Glenn out, it's been pretty hectic here. What is the status of Glenn, and what does his future look like with VectorVest? Well, by God, Eric, I don't have the answers to those questions, but I love Glenn to death, and I would only want to see him come back to VectorVest sooner than later. But I do know his health and regaining his strength is the most important thing right now, and spending some time with his family to do so. So just like you, I'm just kind of in the waiting game as well. And if I get any updates, and the last update I got is I was supposed to be home as of 2 days ago. And actually, I worked my second job last night, so I didn't get to reach out to his wife. This weekend, I promise I'm going to reach out to his wife. I'm going to reach out to Janet. I'm going to try to get an update, if it's okay with her, because, again, I don't want to go against the family. Whatever that update may be, I will pass it along to you guys come Monday, all right? Blair, last year and a half, miners have been outstanding. Yes, they have. You're doing a great job, Miss Glenn, too. Thank you. My stock ETF value is one third of my gold, silver, physical holdings. My stock/ETF value is 1/3 of my. Oh, okay. Interesting. And Keith, do you be my stock ETF? So you're talking about 1/3 is stocks, the other 2/3 is ETFs when it comes to gold, silver, things of that nature? Is that what you're talking about, Keith? Just that particular thing? Carol, what's up, Carol? Steve said this morning in the Jockey Club that Glenn was coming home today, but that everyone should leave him alone and let him. Okay, so it is today. I knew, I heard the date of the 20th, but these got to get the the green light from the doctors and stuff. So yeah, so if Steve said it is today, that is awesome. I would love to see Glenn in Vegas. Fingers crossed. K99, I would love to see Glenn in Vegas. I'm gonna be straight with you though. I love a good miracle, and it's going to take a good miracle and a lot of prayers to get him there. So I'm not going to bet on it, but if he can make it, I've never been to Vegas, and I'd love to go for my first time with Glenn for sure. No physical gold and silver. Physical gold and silver. Okay, someone was talking about physical gold yesterday, whether or not they should have it in their portfolio, things of that nature. You just got, I'll put it like this. The more physical gold, the more physical silver, things that you have at your home or wherever you plan on having it, you're probably preparing for a really worst case scenario, right? Someone where your phone no longer works, because otherwise, just put in gold and silver ETFs, the phone works, right? So the more you're putting into physical gold and silver, the more pessimistic you're looking out in general. And it's not a bad idea, have some gold and silver, nearby you in case things pop off. But again, man, that's the real reason why you would go to physical, right? If you're really expecting some hard times. I'm not talking about just a pullback in the market. I'm talking about some real hard times. I switched from poker to trading, so been to Vegas many times. I've never been to Vegas, and probably because I can gamble right here. I don't need to go across country to gamble. Tell Glenn to throw out the cigarettes and stay out of McDonald's. We want him around for another 50 years. You know what, Fox? I don't think I have to say it. I have a feeling Janet is probably laying down the law and has been. I don't know if Glenn smoked a cigarette since everything's happened. I don't know. I hope not. That would be my ideal answer. Bought during Biden era. Well, I'm not going to comment on that, but I will say if you bought the gold during Biden era, that was when gold first started getting on my radar, because again, the whole reason why I started talking about gold about 2 years ago was because we were in an interest rate hike cycle, right? Stock market sucked during then. It was about a year and a half or so. Combat inflation. And normally when you increase interest rates, stronger dollar, right? It means gold would weaken. But gold did not weaken. And since then, been optimistic on gold and it's been working out. So that's my reason behind gold. You could get as political or as geopolitical as you want or whatever reasons, but that was my reason. But Keith, good job, man. I know you're making some money on that gold there. Just be careful. Glenn needs to stay out of Golden too many chocolate fountains. I wonder if they got those glowing shrimp over at Golden Corral like they got at Walmart, right? Some radioactive shrimp. Oh, Demi, yeah. So just in case anyone else did not know, Glenn was ill this past June. He had a stroke. All the information you need, and if you want to help him and his family, obviously everything is kind of on his wife right now with him not being able to work and a lot of stuff there. There's a GoFundMe account. It's an update page. If you want to check it out, especially if you're just hearing about this for the first time, VectorVest.com/Glenn. And the last update, and I guess apparently Carol mentioned that Steve had said that Glenn is supposed to be leaving the rehabilitation center today, going home, right? So don't bug him today. Let him rest. Maybe reach out to him in the future. Or, I know Janet's been kind of the pivot point for handling a lot of that if you do have his personal information. But just let him rest today. I mean, you're making money today. Let him rest today. That's my bit of advice, right? But again, let's get back to the stocks here. Sorry, I know I love to give you guys updates about Glenn. I always get sidetracked with that, but I just love him to death. All right, but Caledonia mining, it's gold. I ain't worried about gold. Sterling infrastructure, not worried about sterling infrastructure. All I see here is, look, the price went back down to the 20-day moving average. Nice pivot off of it. I talk about that all the time, right? Now we're seeing confirmation back above that 20-day EMA. And hey, the price still moving. And look, we never even lost the buy rating. So I wouldn't have gotten too worried about this one. Earnings per share on the rise. Great stock in general. Hopefully, the market can just keep moving up with these positions. Celestica. Here's another one. Let's zoom in here. There we go. Now this one I'm not too convinced on because it broke the 40. The 20-day. And it's not even quite up there to retest the 20-day. So if you're in it, just be careful. That swing low, that bottom wick, just below 180, kind of would be around my cutoff there. But what I do like, what I see for the optimism of the bulls, you see this gap here? All we did was a simple gap fill, and now we've got a full-body candlestick. So I'm going to be bullish on this, right? I see a perfect gap fill. Is that a bullish engulfing? I have to zoom in here. I might even be a bullish engulfing candlestick here. Let's see what the low is. The close 181.34, open 181.22. Yeah, that looks like a bullish engulfing candlestick. And with the gap fill, perfect trade setup there, right? Used to always making on CLS, recently losing. Because of this rollover here, all I'm seeing, Marvin, is just a nice breather. Fill that gap, right? Now, what I would pay attention to, Marvin, going forward, see if you get some rejection around the 40-day, right? If you get some rejection, hey, I don't know what your goals or intentions with this stock. Just be careful. But if we get a clear break of that 40, it's back to not the 40, the 20, it's back to the races. Rising earnings per share, stock, fairly valued, strong buy rating. Really good, really good. Why is it not moving? There we go. See how we go. Wriggle. VRT. Yeah, if we got some time, we take a look at VRT because I know that's a stock I've thrown on your radar quite a few times, especially during the sell-off during the tariff turmoil. A couple months ago, the stock was overvalued. It's an AI play for those that don't know, but it had some value opportunities there. So yeah, we'll take a look at it. Here's Regal Pharmaceuticals. Whew, that's a lot of momentum to the upside here. Undervalued. So even with all that momentum to the upside, the stock is still undervalued by our metrics. $53 is what we value. Again, not a price target. Just letting you know that investors are not willing to, if they're willing to pay a premium or not, right? And right now, they're not willing to pay a premium, But that's also, we're seeing a lot of momentum behind the stock. So I could get behind this one. I'm not too concerned about it. Let's see here. Let's zoom in. Yeah, we got a little bit of an upper wick today. Not seeing a lot of, enthusiasms, but, it's a broad market rally. It's up a little bit, about just over 0.5%. So again, no concern, no real big concern there. I like that pop in earnings per share. Here's EME Corp. EME Corp, I'm going to put in the category with Meta and Google. Oh, it's retesting from the bottom, right? Retesting that 20 from the bottom. So just be careful. I want to see that price action get back above the 20-day moving average. Value on the rise, price action on the rise. It's my favorite chart pattern. Earnings per share on the rise. Still a good group, good stock here. Let's zoom in. I see a little bit of an upper wick there right on that 20. Just be careful, but I want to see price action get back above that 20 sooner than later. And again, a lot of this is going to happen on Monday, right? We're really going to get a sense of follow through come Monday. We could just be, some one-time hype. Oh, we're getting interest rate cuts next month. And then next week, the market goes to crap, right? That's why, again, tonight's video, wait for the next market move. It's the strategy of the week presentation, so it might be on YouTube a little bit earlier than the 6 p.m. video. New gold hit a new high. New gold, new high. I like it. Undervalued. The stock's at $555. We value at $933, and that's what I'm talking about. These gold stocks here, 40% earnings growth rate. Heck, I can't even get 40% earnings growth rate out of some AI and quantum stocks. And that's going to be much more, volatile or stressful to my portfolio, right? And look at the performance on this thing. Was what, $2.60? It's doubled in the last year. A little bit more than a double over the last year here. Where'd that go? New gold. There we go. Showing continued optimism today. Again, I like gold a lot. I do. Whether you're there's many reasons to get into gold, and for most of the part, I'm down for all the reasons right now. All right, so here's a one overvalued position. We only value it at 38, currently trading at 181. Doesn't mean that the stock is over anything, right? We see a gap up here, a double bottom. As long as it stays above that 20, I'm happy with it. I'd like to see it retest that prior swing high sooner than later. But again, my only concern here is just overvalued. Not much safety either. So I'm not going to give it a whole lot of wiggle room to breathe with. Maybe use the VectorVest stop. We've got one here, and our stop price comes in. Where's our stop price? It's right there. All right, let's do this. Here's the VectorVest stop. So our stop price is that purple line. So yeah, it's got some room, even with their stop price. I'm not too concerned about that right now. Let's take our stop price off. Here is Hood. Hood kind of channeling to the side right now. I'm not too surprised. I mean, the stock needs a breather. It went from $40 to $100 in no time, right? So yeah, if it's moving to the side, as long as it's moving to the side, I'm not concerned, right? But if it breaks below that sideways movement beside the channel that we're starting to see form here, then I would be getting concerned, right? Because we only value stock, just shy of $40. It's 109 right now. And let's just be honest, there's a high retail presence in Robinhood. And I do get, trust me, I use Robinhood. I love the program, but they're an industry disruptor. You're just paying a premium right now. And if you got into the stocks, I've been talking about it for a while now. This is actually a crypto play. I said it would just run along with crypto nicely, and it has. But if you're up quite a bit in it, just be careful, protect some profits along the way. Here's Northeast Bank. Value on the rise, price action on the rise over the last few months, earnings per share on the rise. No reason to overthink it. Full body candlestick today. I like it. Here we've got a net overvalued. Price action right at that 20-day moving average, so just be careful. The stop price comes in around $110, so we got some wiggle room there. Overvalued position, fundamentally strong. Not the greatest CI. Let's look at the forecasted data. 30%, 22% on earnings. Not a bad stock at all. And honestly, what I see here, it looks like it broke above this prior swing high here. You see it right here, this prior swing high. Oh, there we go. Broke above it. And look where that line is. It looks like a simple retest. I mean, that looks like a textbook retest. Breakout with a retest. Ever see a little bit of follow through? But look at the upper wick today. That's my only concern. Look at that upper wick. We're seeing a retest, but we're seeing some selling pressure right at that retest. So just be careful. If we break that retest line, I would get a little bit more defensive. But right now we're holding right above it. Here's AMD. AMD broke below the 20. AMD, as long as it's still in that ascending channel, which I don't know if it is anymore. Right now it's currently trading at 167. It is fully valued. We value the company at 160 here. As far as fundamental analysis, looks good. Big cup and handle on AMD. Yes, that is a big cup and handle. That is a big cup and handle. I have a feeling AMD is about to rock it again. It's got a... I have a feeling. I like AMD. If I had to guess, I would not be surprised to see AMD. As long as the market, we don't know what the market's going to do next year. As long as the market doesn't throw us a huge curveball, huge bearish sentiment, I see AMD getting back in the 200s. With this cup and handle, if it hits the right momentum, we probably get close to 300 by next year. That's just my prediction. We'll see what happens. And especially with all the new AI GPUs, that revenue is really starting to come into picture from the hyperscalers, right? So I think Lisa Su will probably give us a good reason to rally, especially if this cup and handle starts to really take off. I see big things for AMD. Oh, what happened here? There we go. TSM, another one. This was in an ascending channel. Starting to pull back around 233 here. But I think this might just be another classic retest from a prior swing high. Yeah, looks like it is. See? Around 220, so I'm not too concerned. If we see it break that retest area, which is around 222, it looks like, just get a little bit more defensive. Again, that's if the market. But as of right now, you can see the channel here. There's the up end. There's the bottom end of the channel. We're in that zone. We're actually catching a level of support right in that zone, and that zone matches this prior swing high. So I do like that. Here's Reddit. Big wick here. I would be a little bit more bearish on Reddit. If you're in it, hey, we still got a strong buy rating here. The hold hasn't even came play yet, so I wouldn't, overreact too much. Just, if you bought the position, make sure you got a stop in place. Something like this with, momentum, I like to use, personally, maybe like a trailing stop, something to help capture that momentum going forward, okay? But rising earnings, the only caveat, the only reason concerned here, just the value. The stock's overvalued, but it's also Reddit, right? This is the company that's like, other than Wall Street Bets, this is the company, or the forum, I should say, where they pump other stocks, right? So I'm not surprised that the stock has a high retail presence and the stock is overvalued right now. I'm not surprised by that any means. All right, we got Road here, Construction Partners. Look at that big body candlestick, hit a new high, rising earnings. Fundamentally strong. RS coming at 1.06, so you are getting a little bit of safety here. Forecasted data, let's see here, 27%, and then the sales 50%. So again, another great stock to have. Here we've got URI, United Rentals, big body candlestick. It looks like we're approaching the prior swing high as of recent. So let's see if we can break above that. The stock is fairly valued right now at 971. Our fundamental indicators seem strong. Just a little bit of weakness on the CI. The stock failing to hit a new high. LPG, another stock showing momentum to the upside. Nice, strong buy rating here. I like it. Liquidity Services, yep, two big candlesticks in a row here. Rising earnings per share. Stock still undervalued, $34. Currently trading at 27. Another great position to have on your radar here. Here is HIMS. HIMS have had quite a bit of pullback here, up to 70. Stocks overvalued. I mean, you can see the double bottom right here. So just be careful with this one. Seeing a little bit of optimism today, but the momentum's still too strong to the downside. Here is Tempest AI. Big body candlestick today. Upper wick forming, but still above $80. It is overvalued, so just be careful here. I know up until today, AI stocks are getting slammed based on Sam Walton's comments. You know, the CEO of OpenAI or ChatGPT. So just be careful of AI. You know, I'm not quite sold on that some of that damage is done. But even though some of the AI stocks were selling off, look at this one. This one had momentum to the upside for majority of the week here. And earnings per share is still rising. It's not a bad stock, but not a very safe stock. It's got sell and hold recommendations here. So just be careful of that. Here we got Byline. I don't like this one. Value's dropping. The stock, not really a pretty picture. Yeah, as of lately, since April, I do see a pretty picture here. I do see we broke this level of resistance. I like that breakout on a nice strong body candlestick. But with the value declining and price action, pretty stagnant. Not a really a crazy stock that I'm just going to rush out and buy by all means. All right, looks like we finished just on time today. 1:01. We're about to wrap it up. Again, we do have the Power Hour today for those who are members of the VectorVest community. It's not on YouTube today, right, Clay? That was last week. Okay, yeah, so it's just going to be in the community room. So if you do have access to the VectorVest software, check it out. If you don't have access, we do have a trial. Just go to vectorvest.com/YT. Less than $10. Give you 30 days worth of access. And you can join us for our Power Hour this afternoon. All right, everybody, enjoy your weekend. And to those, I will see you in just a little bit. Take care. Bye.